1, go!
Welcome along to the Budleigh Blister. Now, this is my last competitive race of the year. Last year, it was in November last year, and it is the Budleigh Blister. Now, this is a hilly one. It's around the coast paths of Devon, but more importantly, our target today is to beat our father-in-law. You can see him right in front of us there in the orange Torbay tri-top. Now, he is a 60-year-old man, and we're going to form a big rival with him on this channel because he's been running most of his life. He's very fit. I'm a little bit fitter than him at the moment, at least on flat ground, but the coast path is where he trains. This is where he's good. He loves a hilly run. He loves running off-road. He loves running the coast path. And I've come to him, but his back garden essentially here. Although I'm fitter, it's not going to be easy to beat him. You can see he starts out nice and easy on this tarmac path, but it's going to get a lot harder than this. So this race is about 15k long or so, and if you thought the start was busy, well, look at this. Now, we're just heading now away from the tarmac and onto the kind of coast path, onto the off-road. And it was super congested at the start. It is going to open out a little bit later on. In particular, we get some really wide open zones. This bit's super narrow, but honestly, I was enjoying it. I was really enjoying it. And it's, you know, it's nice to go very quickly in a city with tarmac and really wide closed roads. But this is just so different. I was really enjoying running in a line with everybody, shoulder to shoulder, with everyone just doing the same thing, having some fun out here on the coast path on trails, essentially. So as we approach 1k here, I am actually currently ahead of my father-in-law. I did manage to overtake him on the tarmac, and as I said, I am currently in a fitter state than him. So basically, what I'm going to try and do here is just go straight away, get ahead of him, not try and sit on his shoulder or anything like that, get ahead of him and just stay ahead. Go through the first K in 5:15 pace with about 9 meters of elevation gain. So starting off not too bad. Obviously, we saw the start was all on tarmac, so you're going up quite a big hill as it stands. The elevation gain in the top left there flying up. But at the moment, ahead of our father-in-law, feeling all right so far. So just a couple hundred meters on them, but another 50 meters or so of elevation gain. And we're out into the sea, just to prove that we are indeed on the coast path. And you see, it's opened out nice and wide now, so no more worries about narrow bits. It's going to get a bit narrow later on, but obviously everyone will be hopefully shuffled more or less into their pace order then. And you see, just coming down this hill, and you can just see a few little kind of like divots and stuff in the ground. I was honestly quite worried about turning my ankle in this race a lot of the time, because although I had some really good shoes, in fact, I had some brand new shoes. I had the A6 Trabaco 12 GTX is what I had on. They're actually fantastic. It's my first time wearing them. They had unbelievable grip. They were super stable. I was really happy with the shoes. But as I said, this bit here is obviously okay, but there was definitely bits where I could have turned my ankle. So I was quite wary of that. Just trying to take it easy in certain places where I wasn't entirely sure where I was standing. But so far, again, feeling good, going strong. 180 BPM, but I'm going uphill as it stands. But just almost 2k into the 15k race. Coming up to 2k now, and just over 10 minutes in, up to 50 meters of elevation gain now, so there's definitely plenty of elevation to gain to go around. And look ahead, that you can see there's another hill coming, but that does look like it's the top, so fingers crossed we can still go down in a minute. But anyway, through 2k in 5:03, so that's much more like it. Pretty decent pace. Sped up by 12 seconds from the first k, 41 meters of elevation gain as well in that last kilometer. But again, so far, feeling okay. Heart rate's definitely higher than I'd like, and I'm not enjoying seeing that big hill in the distance, but we just got to keep plugging away. I think it's about 300 meters or so of elevation gain total, so the fact we've already done 50 is pretty good. Kind of front loading the elevation gain right now, and hopefully that last hill is the end of it. And the answer is, well, kind of. The hill's just going to be rolling from here, basically. I mean, this is kind of like the apex. This was the sort of peak of the elevation gain, really. But obviously, we're just going to be going up and down. We're alongside a cliff here. It's never going to be dead level. We're up to 64 meters of elevation gain already. But still, again, just holding on. Just trying to recover down the hills. My weird way of running is to push up the hills and then recover down the hills. So on this sort of flatter bit now, I'm just trying to recover a little bit, get the heart rate down a touch. I'm not sure if I can sit at 180-ish heart rate for the entire 15k. I definitely can for a 5k, probably for a 10k. 15k with hills, I might struggle, so I probably need to get that heart rate under control. So just approaching 3k now, and actually go through 3k a little bit quicker in 5:00 pace. So like I said, although my heart rate is high, I'm feeling all right at this stage. Just trying to plug away, trying to hold on to that 5 flat or so pace. 19 meters of elevation gain in that last one, so not so much as the second kilometer, and hoping just to hold on to this pace the best I can. But just 500 or so meters later on, we reach our first problematic hill. You can see I've got my heart rate down to about 170 right now, but look in front. They are absolutely crawling. In fact, the person directly in front is actually really walking up this hill. This one's about 20 meters of elevation gain just on this one little short spur. And you see I've basically slowed to a complete crawl in the 7:30. We're going to dip into the 8s maybe. Yes, we are. Out into the 8-minute kilometer pace. I think I was still running at this point, just not very much. Yeah, 8:30-ish. Someone just coming past me there. Also looking like he's struggling though. He's definitely not looking too fresh. About another 7 or 8 meters or so of elevation gain. Yes, indeed, that guy does end up walking. The quads were absolutely on fire into the 10s, 10-minute kilometer pace. And you see by the fact I overtook the walker, I was still running at this phase, just unbelievably slowly. So that was the first proper hill, but I tell you what, we've got worse hills coming. So onto 4K then, and you see the path is super, super narrow. Luckily, got no one in front of me. Now, this is where I was honestly most scared about turning my ankle, because if you look, the sort of grassy bits are raised, and the muddy bit is sort of indented a little bit. So what I was really wary of is just kind of standing slightly on the side and just turning my ankle inwards. I was sort of having to run almost like on top of my own feet. I wasn't able to do my kind of nice, wide, normal spread, and you see lots of puddles now starting to build up as well. It's getting muddier. But anyway, through the 4K in 5:34. So definitely slowing down quite a bit that one, but there was that 32 meters of elevation gain. But don't forget, 20 meters of that was a single hill, that horrible, horrible, really steep hill we're in the 10s. So overall, 5:34 in that K doesn't seem too bad for me, as we just take over 100 meters of elevation gain just before a third of the distance through the race, but without a third of the way through the elevation gain. And look what we've got coming up here, super, super steep. And look at this, it's just sort of super rocky. You can just see me visually slow down this bit. So I was just quite wary. I know that, you know, realistically, if I'm a couple seconds quicker down here, it's not going to be that at the end of the day, because I'm just recovering. The slower I go, the more I recover. I reached 192 heart rate up that last nasty hill, and it's already down to 176, 170, there you go, flying down, 172 now. So just sort of using this, just being cautious and using it so I can recover. Nice big puddle there, but again, my shoes were sorting me out. I wasn't too worried about that stuff at all. Couple hundred meters on, and you can see we are in a little bit of traffic. Team Bish trotters, but she very, very kindly lets me go. She did not need to do that, but I could see that I think she was in regular trainers. It wasn't too bad that we just saw her there, but she was slipping everywhere. As soon as there was any mud, she was just sliding all over the place. It must have been a horrible feeling. So that's definitely a good advert there for getting some good trail running shoes, because I had none of those problems whatsoever. But yeah, got another Team Bish trotter in front, just trying to stick with him for now. Coming up to 5K now. I suppose the park where we'd be at the end, but unfortunately it is not. 5:09 pace in that last kilometre, 16 metres of elevation gain, kind of just par for the course, to be honest, and it's quite an average kilometre that, but it's encouraging that I was able to at least bring the pace back down from that 5:34 on that horrible hill before, and we've still got our mate for company in front. So just a couple of hundred meters further on, and look at this. We've got a huge wide field, but again, I'm actually quite wary of the ruts. I'm enjoying the view while also being wary of the ruts. See the guy in front just kind of skipping around. I was just being very cautious while trying to run away from this kind of main path bit in the middle, because that looked like it was kind of the most rutty. But yeah, just trying to be quite cautious. Picking up a little bit of pace, 450 pace, 445. Not bad, but yeah, again, just quite wary. But yeah, just coming into the, I guess, a little town. Looks more like a holiday park, honestly, but it's always nice to have these views. Much, much better than a city, in my opinion. Speaking of cities, how often do you get these in cities? Brown puddles followed by, I'm going to call it a turnstile thing. I can't remember what it's called. But yeah, a little gate to come through there mid-race, then followed by a super, super narrow bit to run through. But honestly, I enjoy this. It's proper variety. It's really good. But what's this? A bit of tarmac. Absolutely lovely. Just making this sharp turn here across the lane. And yeah, just able to recover here. One down to 175. Heart rate come down the hill a little bit. And feeling good right now. And actually just up here, there is a water station. Now, I wasn't really told there was going to be water stations. Well, I was, but they told you to bring your own bottle. And I was like, I haven't really got a suitable bottle. I don't want to carry a plastic the whole time. I'll just do without. But then I saw actually they had these kind of reusable sort of plastic ones there. Look, you can kind of see it there, the blue ones. So I was like, all right, sure. So I downed a bit of water. I was getting a bit thirsty at this point. It's just before halfway. Did lose a few seconds for that for sure. But again, my heart rate was able to recover during that. So overall, I don't think I lost too much, honestly. Heart rate's staying the same right now, but I'm sure it will drop off in just a moment. But yeah, coming past this this pirate ship, though, so definitely some interesting views here. Heart rate is now starting to drop. And thank you the marshals, as always. And I'm sure we'll get back to the muddy stuff pretty soon. And sure enough, here we go, straight back into the mud and through 6K. Now, in the top right there, I've rolled the first 5K into one line. So 26:01 was the first 5K. And look at these puddles. But it's just splashing straight through them. Honestly, look at the guy's legs in front. You can't avoid them on this run. If you're going to try and be princessy about it and try and dodge around the puddles on a run like this, we're not even halfway yet. You're just going to be slow. You're going to be using too much energy. So you just got to wear the right clothing, the white footwear, and just tear straight through it. So anyway, 146 meters of elevation gain, 11 meters in that last kilometer. Back in the mud, we're just going to keep plugging away.
Made the mistake of looking up.
You hear me there say, made the mistake of looking up. Now, you can't really see it on the video, to be honest, but ahead you could see this huge hill just kind of looming. We're already going uphill was the problem. I was already thinking, okay, when's this hill going to end? And you just look ahead and just see more and more hill. I'm looking behind thinking, okay, I'm fading here. I was sat right with that guy's hill for quite a while, and now I'm just fading away. I'm thinking, okay, let's just chill. 194 heart rate in the left. I can't keep that up for up the entire hill, but I just got to keep plugging away. See, heart rate already starting to drop, but just by backing off a little bit, and hopefully we can grind through this hill somehow. And here we go, just to prove what I meant by saying I made the mistake of looking up. Look at this. We've got literal stairs here, and I've had to resort to walking. Looking back, let's see if anyone's running. Nobody was running. Genuinely, I'm not exaggerating here. Up this hill, nobody, at least around me, ran it. Look, 2 people in front, both walking. Everybody was walking. The elevation gain up this hill was an absolute joke. It's also super uneven, but you can kind of deal with that. Into the 12-minute kilometer paces, I was sort of pushing on my quads, trying to sort of propel myself forward the best I could, but you can see me kind of bobbing up and down with the camera. And look, they're still walking in front. The elevation gain up this bit was just absolutely insane. The camera just completely doesn't do it justice, but the fact I'm walking and we've got a meter in the top left going up every couple of seconds just shows you how steep it was. And like I said, I'm not being overtaken right now. I'm walking at 30-minute kilometer pace and I'm not being overtaken. Right, let's see how hilly this hill is, shall we? What is the elevation gain total? Let's find out. Well, we are just now approaching the end of the hill. You can just about see the man in front, shoulder in front. It is just starting to end. There's someone up there actually starting to run for once. Still in the 13 pace in the top left. 218 meters elevation gain now. And I can tell you that when I first said, oh, I made a mistake of looking up, we were at 170 meters of elevation gain. So that's 50 meters of elevation gain in just a few hundred meters forward. It was an absolute joke, this hill. I was still walking. Look, heart rate, 175, despite having walked for the last several minutes. It was insane. There you go, looking behind. Some people starting to run now. I was kind of wanting to run, but my legs were on fire despite the walking. I mean, you can see my heart rate. It's not like I'm recovered and ready to go. I was trying to do myself at this point, like, come on, Alex. I can see everyone running in front of me. Come on, just do it. The elevation gain is still going up. It is still uphill. And there, I do eventually force myself, despite the nearly 180 heart rate, to get running, and we're underway again. And I think this K might be a slow one. Well, let's find out, shall we? Coming through 7K now, and that last K was 8:23. 100 meters of elevation gain for 1K forward, all of which was really crammed into a couple of 100 meters. Unbelievable. No wonder it was an 8:23. That kilometer was brutal, but the good news is the course is only around about 300 meters of elevation gain, I believe. So we've now done over 2/3 of our elevation gain, but we're not even halfway in terms of distance. So despite that first K killing me, I am still ahead of my father-in-law as it stands. Hopefully, it gets easier from here. Through 8K then, and actually no meters of elevation gain in that last one. Look at my shoulder there, and I do see my father-in-law. Unfortunately, he has caught me. Those hills have come in clutch for him, and although we've done hopefully most of them now, he is right with me, and I can just feel myself struggling. 174 BPM is not too bad, but those hills have really taken out my legs, and despite that last kilometer being flat, I am not in a good shape right now. He's with us. I'm fearing he's going to get us, but hopefully we can come back at the end.
I'm back. Great man.
And there it is. It's finally happened. We are now behind. Just past halfway. A little wait for the camera as well. A bit of showboating. Why not? He has managed to get us. He did just say, though, as he came through, you'll get me up the next hill. Because he's highlighting that although he's well trained on hills, for some reason I just push really hard up the hill. I am quicker than him uphill. It just kills me off because clearly I push too hard. But yeah, unfortunately, we're now behind. You see him getting away down this hill. Hopefully, we can get him back, though. So through 9K in 4:46 then. So very similar pace to the last one. Honestly, those are my 2 quickest kilometers of the whole run. But obviously with 0 meters of elevation gain, I have gone quicker, but clearly everyone else has saved something. So I'm not really going slowly. I think everyone else maybe just paced it a little bit differently to me. But anyway, back uphill now. We've got an orange top in front somewhere. So I'm not sure one of those. Oh, actually, there's the lady behind just slips over there. Easy to do. Me and the runner just behind us. Just checking she was okay. She was completely fine. She had a chat to us on the way up here and said, no, I'm fine. These things happen in off-road courses. She fell on some soft grass. She was all good. Anyway, so yeah, uphill now again. Hopefully, one of those orange tops in front must be my father-in-law. So as we approach 10K here, and I can confirm one of those people in front is my father-in-law, the one without the kind of sleeves on, just the orange top. But through 10K in 5:38, definitely a lot slower that one, but with 24 meters of elevation gain. So we are going back uphill, and that is why I've managed to re-catch him. So this one is going to yo-yo around. We're about 2/3 way through this race distance, but obviously the fact I've faded so much has me a little bit worried. Apologies for that if you ever see the camera kind of pointing to the sky a little bit. I was trying to charge the Osmo Nano camera while using it, so it was a bit too heavy for my head mount, to be honest, and it kept kind of falling everywhere. It was a bit of a nightmare. The battery lasts about 45 minutes, which obviously is not quite long enough for this race. So I was doing my best to shoot while also running. But as we come through this little village here, this was a little tarmac hill. And oh, look, he's right there, fading. Although I'm doing 7-minute pace, apparently, so I'm not exactly feeling good up the hills, but I managed to stick right with him. We're right on his shoulders now. Let's see if we can stick with him. We only got 4K to go. If I can power through, maybe I can beat him in this last competitive race of 2025. Right with him now. Can we get him with him? Not really. Look, we're just doing the same pace. 6-minute pace probably isn't enough. I definitely would normally be going quite a bit quicker than that up the hills. I think he's probably paces quite well. His kind of level has remained the same. Mine has reduced, and we've kind of ended up meeting in the middle a little bit here, but we're just about to go alongside him. Let's see what we say.
Come on, Max, just 5k to go. That's what you said. Claw up and along.
My upper legs have gone now.
As you probably tell, mine went a while ago. Oh, I'm keeping up with Mr. Coach Path himself, I'm doing alright. But ignore the age difference. You're 33, aren't you?
So there we go. Not sure how much of that you're able to make out. He absolutely loves age grading though, by the way. Obviously, our race times end up being quite similar, but because he's about 30 years older than me, his age grading is obviously a lot better than mine. But yeah, unfortunately, not quite able to overtake him. We are going back downhill now, so he is scampering away. So never quite able to go back ahead of him there. But coming through 11k now, and I'm just going to group the first 5k or the second 5k rather together once again. 18:56 was the time. Sorry, 28:56 is the time I did that in. And yeah, through 11k and 5:29 with 26 meters of elevation gain. You heard a bit of chat there about legs dying. Mine definitely are not in a good shape because honestly heart rate isn't too bad in the 170s. That's okay, like I can live with that as long as I'm kind of staying below 180. I can kind of sustain that for quite a while. But yeah, legs were just not happy, just haven't done enough hill trailing, so just unfortunately fading now. All right, go through 12k now, and you see we're back on the level of the water. We'll talk about it in just a moment, but through 12k at 5:04. So again, pace isn't too bad. Just 1 meter of elevation gain though, so obviously not in the fours there on the flat. So yeah, just doing what I can now, really. I think, you know, 180 heart rate there with despite only 1 meter of elevation gain, just doing what I can. You could kind of, you can't see it right now, but you could just a moment ago just about see his orange top still in front. You see how muddy it is here, and I'm thinking, okay, all right, I could still do this. I can still beat him. We've only got about 3 or 4 or so k to go, but I can still beat him if I can just dig deep and find something here. As you can see, we're next to the water now, and there's no more hills, basically. It's pretty much flat now. There is a little hill at the very finish, but it's pretty much flat now all the way. And honestly, it was quite hard to judge because I'm not sure we just passed it there, but the start, the road that we're at the start, we're about to cross that in just a moment if we haven't already. So I knew that I was near the finish, but it was kind of hard to judge at what point we're going to turn around because you never know how accurate GPS was on the day. You never know how accurate the race is measured either. So honestly, it was hard to judge, and I was just thinking, okay, try and see if I can wind it up now on this flat. Now, I've only got a few k to go because I don't want to leave it to a sprint finish. I'll be too far back. And here we go. This is the bit that I was talking about. This is the tarmac road we ran on right at the very start. You see me looking there to the right-hand side, knowing that the finish is over there somewhere. But unfortunately, we have to go across. This is where it's quite hard to judge how much I should push. But we're going to start pushing on now. Down just through 30 kilometers there, 5:04. Still the same pace, but now is the time to wind on the speed. See the top left there? Straight down to 4:40 pace. At this point, although there's a bit of traffic around, at this point, I'm thinking, okay, it's time to wind on the pace. I mean, I'm not going to be able to do 4 flat for the next few k. I just decided, okay, 5:04 is clearly the pace that I'm at right now. Let's pick that up by sort of 10 to 20 seconds per kilometer and see if there's anything we can do. Because right now, I can't really even see him. Obviously, you can't see very far at this current time, but even in the stretches where I could see quite far, I couldn't even see him. So I was thinking, okay, look, down into almost 4:30 pace there. At this point, I was like, give it my all, see if I can catch him and go from there.
Good, mate. Well done.
You're very quick at me. Not far now. No.
Well, just letting that guy go there. He was just saying you were going quicker than me. He was sat on my heels, seeing that I was pushing, and that is me, unfortunately, waving the white flag. You can see it's just opened out now. You can see the bridge about to go across. I looked ahead. I thought I could maybe see him across the bridge, and I thought, you know what? I'm a couple of 100 meters behind. I'm giving it my absolute all here to be going a little bit quicker into the 180s, and I'm not going to catch him. Look, I'm not going to give up. I'm not about to start walking straight to the 6s for now. I'm not about to start completely walking, but, you know, I was really giving up my all there, and if it's not going to yield me any better results, what's the point? So what was all that hard work yielded us? 4 seconds. 4 seconds. Apparently, according to Strava, that last K was only a 5 flat. I tell you what, look, 186 heart rate at the top left. I'm giving it my all. Well, I did give my all for most of that last K. And I did slow down at the end of the K, so maybe that affected it a little bit. You saw it was in the 6s briefly. So I think if I kept that for that entire K, I maybe would have been down somewhere closer to sort of 450 pace. But yeah, that was all I had, unfortunately. But we made the turn now. It's heading back to the finish. 14k in, not long to go now. You never know. We might see him blown up by the side of the road in a bit. And here we go. We're back where we started, but no finish. No finish in sight. And I'll tell you what, I'm very glad that he wasn't just in front of me and I put on a big sprint finish for that, because I wasn't confident that that was the finish. And I was absolutely right to lack confidence there, because that was not the finish. I thought it was, but I know where the clubhouse is. I know where I'm going. But I honestly thought that was the finish for the couple of K before that. So let's just got to keep powering through here. Through 15k in 4:57, so still manages to do some reasonable pace on the relative flat. You see the heart rate, 192. I did push a little bit to get to what I thought was the finish. 193 now. And I'm thinking, I walked along this path to get to the start. Where the hell is the finish? I can see some marshes in front, thinking, okay, it must be there. I do remember walking down this quite steep hill to get to this path. I'm at 193 heart rate. Keep an eye, 280 meters of elevation gain. We turn left here. I know the finish is in just like 100 meters from here. But look how steep. This is what I need when I'm 190 on heart rate at the end of a very hilly 15k race. Absolutely ridiculous. And the head completely drops here. Just giving it my all despite the terrible pace. We know the father-in-laws unfortunately beat us in the Budleigh Blister. But just giving it everything I've got here. These guys at the side I don't think are racing. Just last hill. It's nice. To be honest, it was quite a nice finish. It was sort of a bit of a funnel effect. There was a few people around. I kind of liked it. I just wish I knew it was there beforehand. We've done, what did I say we're at? 280 was it? So about 10 meters of elevation gain there. One little push for the finish, and there we go. We come through the finish, and there he is. There's our father-in-law. Little fist bump for him there. Fair play. That was an unbelievable run for the 6-year-old there to absolutely demolish me. 1:21.39 was my official time in the end. So honestly, I'm quite happy with that. I gave it absolutely everything. This is my wife's sister here, just giving her a little hug. This is her partner, Andrew, giving him a little fist bump at the end. I was pretty happy with that, but fair play to the father-in-law. He's absolutely demolished me, but the rivalry does not end there. Don't forget to subscribe, guys, and I'll catch you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.